That's right. Okay, let's move on to new business.
All right.
IASB membership 2011-2012. And be brief with your your explanations. Okay. Dave?
That's it.
Well, we protested this because of their inclusion of some of our construction costs as to how they base the fee. It went to the IASB board. They rejected our plea, and so they have a set formula for doing this, and it's on your operating cost compared to students. It is the 2008-9 data, and that's how they base it. So our fee would be about a $700 increase over the prior year. $6,249.10. We really need to belong to this group both for lobbying purposes and for our policy service.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Resolved that the Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, hereby approves the payment of the Illinois Association of School Boards membership dues for the 2011-2012 school year in the amount of $6,249.10 as presented in the June 14, 2011 Board Agenda Packet.
Second.
Second by Dan Moon. Any comments? So Laura, I know that you're going to be our liaison with the IASB. Can you explain to them our situation and see what you can do?
We should drop though, right? Because if they calculate it, it looks like 2 years in the rears. So next year we won't have construction costs.
I know, but still.
Over time, it should drop. You're right.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? Okay, Mary Ann?
Dr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Moon.
Yes.
Mr. Welch.
Yes.
Mr. Welch.
Yes.
Mr. Gretchen.
Yes.
Ms. Ruska.
Yes.
Mr. Cindy.
Yes. All right, the next thing up is the, and we're not doing this preliminary budget, we're holding off on that.
Yeah.
We're holding off on the B preliminary budget. We still need to do some work on it, and we know that we have 30 days prior to the September 30th that we have to publicly post it, so we're not doing that. Let's go to C, resolution of Learning Center Technology Center Fiscal Agent. And if we don't know about this, we weren't listening. So, Dave?
I don't want to necessarily repeat myself here, so I recommend you adopt this resolution and divest ourselves of this responsibility.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Whereas the district has received an intergovernmental service agreement from West 40 Intermediate Service Center, West 40, and Learning Technology Center 1 Central, LTC, and whereas West 40 will act as the administrative agent for the LTC beginning July 1, 2011, then be it resolved that the District 208 Board of Education concludes its function as administrative agent for the LTC effective at the close of business on June 30, 2011, and hereby directs the superintendent to inform all appropriate agencies.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Walsh. Chris, before you leave, I want to have every money that we are owed to make sure that starting June 30th and prior, that we make sure we have a good accounting of what we need to have repaid back to us. Okay?
And if I could, we just need to be sure that we get paid our administrative fee.
Yeah, so let's identify
everything
that.
else, we had no district liability for any of this, other than some time and aggravation.
So can you get that listing to us, identifying by specific what it's owed?
Sure.
Dr. Burnett, there's an agreement attached to here, but we're not a party of, so we won't pay anything for this. It'll just be whatever we're paying to West 40 now.
Correct. They had it drawn up, their legal fee for developing it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Mary Ann?
Mr. Moon.
Aye.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Welch.
Yes.
Mr. Gretchen.
Yes.
Ms. Ruska. Aye. Dr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Cindy.
Yes. All right, the next is an intergovernmental agreement with Harbor Academy.
This is our alternative school that West 40 operates. It's housed in Oak Park. Historically, we have had between 2 and 4 students over the last 4 years that we have sent to this alternative school. If we agree to a minimal number, the cost per month is $1,200. And
Credit
if we don't have a reserve space, it's $1,300. We have one student that'll be completing first semester there next year. In all probability, there will be 1 or 2 or 3 more during the year. And so I would recommend that we reserve not more than 1 space.
So we save about $900 for the credit option,
Correct.
$900.
And
So if we
sometimes,
did-
kids go mid-year, but I don't want to commit to money that we don't necessarily have to spend.
Oh, okay, so once it's paid in, it's gone, right?
We're committed to, I would commit to 1.
But we already have somebody
And
halfway.
we have a student that'll be
Yeah.
there through the first semester.
Our history, we've had 3 students there.
3 years ago, we had 4. 2 years ago, we had 2. Last year, we had 4, and this year, we have 3.
So why are we reserving 2 and then saving $900 per?
Because maybe we will only have
We
1.
won't? Okay, all right.
The penalty for reserving when you don't use is 1,200 times 9.5 or whatever. It's almost $10,000. The
Yeah.
cost
Over
is about $900 for paying for one you didn't reserve, right?
Can't broker the seat or sell it to somebody that needs it?
Yeah, I don't know if they do that.
All right.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I told Dr. Burnett there's a couple, things in the agreement that seem pretty unclear to me.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm willing to support the thing, and I could just give him some comments if you want after.
That's fine.
You
That's
know,
good.
I don't know that we need to have
Yeah, no,
a
we
discussion
don't.
about it.
All right, any other discussion?
I just want to ask, clarify, so, Tim, were you saying that 1 was too little?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying
All right.
that if
I
he's,
wasn't clear.
you don't want to reserve 2 if you're not certain you're going to have 2, because you pay almost 10 grand. And if we
Okay.
get a second, all you do is pay us $100 a month more, so it's, yes, it's 9 or 1,000 more, but the penalty's a lot greater than the benefit for reserving.
And right now, you have 1 for half a year automatic.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was clear.
And that other student may not
Okay.
be referred there until November. So,
Okay,
If I read this motion, am I reserving 1 slot on the bus for this
and
school?
why don't you include that in the motion?
Okay. Resolved that the Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves the intergovernmental agreement fiscal year 2012 between West 40 and School District 208 for the purpose of transferring students into West 40 Regional Safe School Middle School and reserving 1 place with the tuition remaining on the same as the school year as presented in the June 14, 2011 board agenda packet. Is that appropriate?
Perfect.
do I have a second?
Second.
Second by John King. Go for the vote.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Gritchen?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Moon?
Aye.
Mr. Cindy?
Aye. Okay, we have a lease extension for many buses. Do you want to talk about this, Chris?
Well, Chris and I did discuss this over the last couple of weeks, and I am the superintendent, so
All
I
right,
have
okay.
some prerogative.
All right. Okay, but he's the one that did all the work. so.
And there would, I think the board, over the course of the next year or so, can really study the value of just outrightly owning these minibuses versus leasing them. Probably, in the long run, better off to own them than lease them. These buses have 10,000 miles a year. I mean, they're low mileage, so they're in good shape. This way you'll save about $4,000 over the next 2 years, and it'll give you a chance to study it.
Okay, any other questions? Chris, do you agree with what he said?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
And he doesn't have to say that
He
either.
doesn't have, okay, do I have a motion?
Resolved that the board, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dan, because Mike's talking.
Yeah. Resolved that the Board of Education Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves the 2-year lease extension from Midwest Transit Equipment Incorporated for 2 minibuses at the price of $5,985 per bus per year, which amounts to $11,970 for the school years 2011, 2012, and 2012 to 2013, for a total cost of $23,940 as presented in the June 14, 2011 board agenda packet.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mike Welch. Mary Ann, you want to go for the vote?
Wait, does anybody have discussion or questions?
I thought we discussed it.
Well, technically, we should discuss it now. but-
All right, does anybody have any discussion? Seeing none, let's go for the vote.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Goodson?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Moon?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Cindy?
Yes. All right, transfer of interest from debt service fund to the education fund. Dave, do you want to talk about it, or you want to, Chris?
I would defer to
Chris, it's for you.
This is something we've done every year where we transfer the interest out of the debt service fund to the education fund. The debt service fund gets enough revenue through the property tax levy and the loss and costs that the Cook County assesses to that levy to pay for the bonds and the fees for debt. So the interest is better served to transfer it over to the education fund. We budgeted for this, and we do it every year.
Any discussion for Mr. Welton?
Resolved that the Board of Education Township High School District 208 hereby approves the transfer of interest earnings in the debt service fund to the education fund as presented in the June 14, 2011 board agenda packet.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Gary Gritchen. Tim, you have a question?
Chris, and I talked to you, but I want to make sure I
Yeah.
understood this. The reference to the school treasurer in section 3 of the actual resolution, it's the township or the county treasurer that we use, right?
The provides the township school treasurer.
And when can we direct them to make entries into our books and records? Do they actually make entries into our books and records?
They do.
Okay. And in section 2, in the second sentence, it probably should say interest earned on investments during the fiscal year, right? We talked about that instead of from.
Okay.
And Chris, just to have the number, it's $22,852 is the amount we're approving transfer.
That's the amount earned through May 31st. If there is anything in June, they'll move
Plus
that
the June amount. So
Yeah.
we're approving
for the whole year. But
we don't have a number. Okay.
right.
I have a related question, but it's not on the resolution. I read the policy today. And again, I haven't been here for a quarter, so maybe it happens, but we're supposed to get a quarterly report of the investment and the interest and all that. Is that,
We haven't gotten a quarterly report from them. We get one annually.
it's in our board policy, so we should either get the report or change the policy.
Well, we'll look at the policy.
Probably change the policy.
Okay, all right.
Knowing provides the township
Yes,
treasurer.
sir. Should change the policy.
Historically, that way,
Okay.
No quotes.
right.
All right, any other discussion? All right, seeing none, Marion?
Do we need to read this whole thing or no?
No.
No,
It's
just
covered in
do
there.
the cover
Okay?
sheet.
Mr. Goodson?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Moon?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Cindy?
Yes. All right, transfer of funds from working cash.
This is, even though it says transfer, they are really working cash fund loans. The resolution does say transfer, but these are really loans that will provide cash flow in the education fund, the operation fund, and IMRF fund, so that we can pay bills out of those funds with, to have enough cash flow to pay bills. The one problem that I was pointing out here is that these loans, we couldn't make a big enough loan to the IMRF fund to cover the cash flow issue that will come up in August or September because of this 85% rule. So that fund, that will need a permanent transfer, which I'm not recommending tonight. These are just loans, working cash fund loans to the education fund, O&M fund, and IMRF fund. That's what this resolution is doing tonight, but you will need to do a permanent transfer to the IMRF fund in the near future.
Any questions for Chris?
I don't want to, somebody else gonna go?
Oh, you can go, Bill.
Well, I just have a question on
Yes.
how you.
And the
I talked
cash
to
flow.
Chris.
Mhm.
You know, just a couple things so we understand it. Why, we have projected numbers that we're basing this on your spreadsheet, but we have actual numbers in our other reports. Would it make a difference if we had actual, or it just
I
would be
don't
a
think it
slight
would make-
variation?
I don't
Okay.
think it would make much difference at all.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference if we had actual for May.
And if I understood it correct, so what you're saying is we can't, it was a little confusing, the Social Security versus IMRF.
Yeah.
Is the Social Security part of the IMRF?
It is, part of the IMRF fund,
Okay.
Fund 50, yes.
Okay, so, but because there's this limitation, we'd have to agree to make a permanent transfer.
Permanent transfer is gonna be needed.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion, questions? All right, the motion you'll make is on your yellow sheets where it says new business. Under transfer of funds for working cash, that's the motion we'll be making. So do I have a motion?
Resolved that the Board of Education Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois approves the following fund loans. Working cash fund to education fund, $4,894,000. Working cash fund to operations and maintenance fund, $146,000. Working cash fund to IMRF fund, $118,525, as presented in the June 14, 2011 Board Agenda Packet.
I have a second by Dan Moon. Any discussion?
And just what you're approving is this resolution that's attached here too, but saving you about 10 minutes of time in reading.
Okay, any other discussion?
I do have a question. You
Yeah.
said, Chris, we're gonna have to make this permanent. When would we expect to vote on that? When would?
August,
In August.
Before the end of August,
yes.
and it would be just in the one particular aspect of the one particular IMRF fund,
Yes.
and the approximate amount of that transfer to cover on the sheet is?
When you look at Exhibit A of this, it looks to be, if you want to get into November, the November 30th deficit is 154,443. The October deficit is 111,500, somewhere in between there.
Is that because taxes don't come until?
Yes.
December?
Yes. Well, hopefully they're gonna come
Hopefully.
earlier than that.
But that's a big
If we
one.
can get them in November, we would not have to do short-term borrowing.
Any other questions for Chris?
Yeah, on the actual, I know Dr. Bennett didn't want to make us read it, but there's reference in this actual
Uh-huh.
resolution to Social Security. Should it be
Yes.
to the IMRF instead of Social Security?
Well, the money is going to the fund, but in the resolution, it's referring to the levy. Even though it does say Social Security Fund, I think they're talking about the levy itself. So
You actually have two different levies.
Two levies.
One's for IMRF and one for Social Security. So correctly, Mr. Walsh, change the IMRF to Social Security, and if the person who made that motion would agree to it, and the second, change the IMRF fund to Social Security fund. I think operationally, Chris usually lumps them together and calls it the IMRF fund, but
Fund 50.
there is an IMRF and a Social Security fund, and you have a separate levy for each one of them.
Yeah.
That's the third line on the yellow sheet.
Third line in the yellow
Yeah.
sheet.
The other-
It says IMRF, 118,000, make it Social Security fund, and that's consistent with the actual resolution.
The other question that I have, and
Uh-huh.
it goes to the estimate on here, the report that you gave us on the monthly budget, one of the reports shows what the balance in the fund is, and on there it says the working cash fund has a balance of $5,323,000, and on here, it's got a different number.
We've already loaned 120,000 to the IMRF fund. We did that in April.
Are you saying it's?
I'm saying the working cash fund number on this resolution doesn't match the number you just gave us in the report for this month.
Well, I think.
Oh, it's round, you rounded it, that's why, never mind.
I
Forget
think
it.
this is the
Okay.
amount we're transferring, no?
Well, yeah, but this is the actual
Okay.
resolution that's gonna be signed.
All right. Any other questions for Chris? All right, Mary Ann.
Ms. Ruska?
Aye.
Dr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Moon?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh?
Walsh, yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Mr. Cindy?
Yes.